It is 9:04, and we welcome you back to the Vine Morning Show on a Wednesday morning. I'm Mark, and it's great to have you along this morning. We welcome those watching our YouTube channel and those watching cable TV channel 15. Thanks for joining us today here on the Vine Morning Show. We have a special guest in the studio with us this morning, and we welcome Sandy Sinnett from the United Methodist Children's Home in Mt Vernon. Sandy, good morning, and thanks for joining us this morning here on the Vine Morning Show.
Good morning, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about you, what your title is at the United Methodist Children's Home.
I'm the Director of Development and PR.
And how long have you been there in Mt Vernon?
I've been with the Children's Home since October of this past year. I was born and raised in Mt Vernon and actually just moved back in October.
Wow. You know what? Sometimes, and you know, I'm like you. I lived away. I was born and raised in this area, and I moved to the Metro East. But, you know, sometimes we are drawn back home.
We are.
We are. And it's great to have you back home. Great to have you here with us this morning.
Thank you.
And you're the director of a lot of things there at the Children's Home in Mt Vernon. Tell us a little bit about what goes on an everyday function at the United Methodist Children's Home.
Sure. We actually are home to about 31 kids, ages 12 to 21. They live on campus with us. Just socially challenged. Some of them have come from abused backgrounds. Some of them have just been neglected and by their families. And we just really kind of minister to them, take care of their mental needs, their emotional needs, their physical needs, everything from clothes to counseling to prayer and spiritual guidance if they want it. Whatever that looks like, whatever's the best for that youth, we're there to take care of that of that teenager. And that's just one one thing we do, and it's obviously a really big thing. We also have a Christian counseling center and a daycare center, and we just offer so much to the community. So we're kind of a hidden secret, I think. You know,
you're a gem there, and I was getting ready. I'm glad you mentioned that because you're like a jewel, a hidden gem there, because a lot of people don't know where the United Methodist Children's Home is located in Mt Vernon.
That's
I know
true.
I've had a lot of people ask me where it's at before. Where is it located at for those that need to know or want to know?
Sure. We're right on Ridgeview Road, just really close to Cedarhurst. It's 2023 Ridgeview in Mt Vernon.
Very easy to
Been there
find.
a long time.
Yeah, it's very, and it's actually been there. I was looking at the history here. Actually, it started way back in 1911 on September 23rd. Reverend Dan Hopkins, he proposed the establishment of a conference orphanage.
Correct.
And the first home was located at Creel Springs, Illinois, back in February 18th of 1920. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's where it started at.
That's where it began, yes.
Do you know what brought it to Mt Vernon?
Well, I know there was a fire at some point, and I think they relocated to Mt Vernon. Not long after that fire, they rebuilt on the campus where we're at now. And it was originally just one brick structure, but it has grown by leaps and bounds. There's now 4 different homes on campus, including a home for the transitional teens who are kind of transitioning into the workforce and are a little more independent. We call them our transitional living program. Kids from 18 to 21, but just immense, talent as far as staff and just giving back to the community. Our social workers there they give their heart and soul every day to those kids. Yeah,
it's very important. It's nice to have a facility like this. How many people work at the United Methodist Children's Home? And it takes a lot of people, right?
It does. Counting our youth build staff and the daycare and the counseling center, our foster parent team, I would say we're really close to 140 employees.
Wow.
Not all on campus, of course. There's off campus.
Yeah, off campus. Now, how many live there at the United? How many people, how many reside there at the United?
Actually, the kids that live on campus, around 31 right now.
30?
It kind of fluctuates from, if we get a new one or if one is successful and is just ready to go out on his own or...
Now, this program, the United Methodist Children's Home, are a program for, like you mentioned, kids who have had past histories and stuff, have been in trouble with the law, right? Or just
not all.
Not all.
It could just be an abusive home situation. They just needed a safe place, and there's a lot of trauma that goes along with that.
Yeah.
So a lot of our kids actually are not offenders in such as like a crime.
Sure.
A few have because of what they've been through with their home life. So
now, are they just all locally, or do they come from all over?
Used to be, I think we got a lot of teenagers from the Chicago area that came down through us through the Department of Child and Family Services. They would refer. But right now, they are mostly local, just within Marion, Jefferson County. I don't know if there's any Wayne County. I really don't know, but I know they're mostly just local right now.
Now,
and it seems to be that way.
That seems to be
ongoing.
Ongoing. And, this is such a great program, and I think, a lot of people forget it's there, and there's just something going on every day. You have all kinds of, you've got all kinds of programs, residential treatment program, transitional living programs, Quest School. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's a school right on campus. It's about 20 kids. Some of the kids are our kids that live on campus. It is actually open to kids that live off campus who might just have a social need. They're just not fitting in quite right at the public school, and it's just not the right fit for them. So we have teachers that are just trained to deal with their emotional state of life and just help them learn and grow and succeed right where they're at.
What's so important too is you mentioned it's a family foundations, a little bit about it. It's a home-based program that seeks to improve the lives of not only the children but the parents as well, right?
Oh yeah, they go into the homes, our therapists do, and it's kind of an extension of our Community Connections counseling. They are our professional therapists that are located off Shiloh Drive, and it's a faith-based counseling if that's what the client prefers, and if not, faith may never enter the room, but typically that's what we pride ourselves in providing. But Family Foundations is an extension of that, where those same therapists will go into the home and just help with parenting skills, how to be a parent, how to communicate as a family together. There was a family in Salem. I know her daughter was pregnant at an extremely young age, and they just needed to learn how to communicate together and deal with the experience of that. So, and it was really great how they were helped.
I like the core values of the United Methodist Children's Home. There's Christian principles of the Christian faith serve as the foundation of the ministry. Integrity, respect, excellence, and family focused. All important, isn't it?
They really are. And it's what we live and abide by every day.
Let me ask you this, Sandy. How do you know when someone completes the program? How soon do you know to where you can say, okay, we're going to let you go back out and go back with your family or go back into the real world, so to speak? How do you determine that?
Our residents have caseworkers that are trained for this specific task, and it's really their job to monitor these kids day in and day out. They're on campus living with these kids 24/7, so they know, between them and the counselors and our DCFS contacts that really stay involved in these kids' lives, when they're ready. They're showing progress. There's actually fruit coming from their life. Some of them have actually gotten jobs. They're in the public school. They're doing wonderfully. And so there's signs, just like I have my own teenagers, and there's signs when they're clicking and life is, they're figuring things out. It's the same way with these kids.
Sure.
They just need a little extra. That's all.
When you welcome in kids into the home and everything, and you get to know them on a personal level, there's a lot of emotion there because you know what they go through, what they've been through, and your goal as at the United Methodist Children's Home is to bring them into a situation where they can go back out into the world, understand what they have done, what they did wrong, but to put them on the right side of life.
Right. And we actually had a breakfast not long ago where we had some residents that have grown up and become adults and moved on and come back and shared their story about how they were treated at UMCH and how it changed their life. And if it hadn't been for the staff on campus or the foster parent that we put in touch with their life, they wouldn't be where they are today, and they wouldn't be a parent themselves. So.
Wow, that's awesome. We're talking with Sandy Sinnett this morning here on the Vine Morning Show from the United Methodist Children's Home in Mt Vernon, and it's so important, so vital to the community and to the area as well. And Sandy, we're going to come back in a moment, and you guys have a big fundraiser coming up.
We do.
On Friday, July the 8th, and we're going to come back here in just a few moments and talk about that. It's the 21st Annual Golf Classic Fundraiser. We'll come back and give you the details on that when we come back.
Absolutely.
All right. We're with Sandy this morning here on the Vine Morning Show, and we'll return in a few moments.
Yeah.
Music and ministry that is always uplifting and encouraging. It's local Christian radio, 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine. Same power, that is Jeremy Camp. It is 9:20 here on the Vine Morning Show on a Wednesday morning. I'm Mark. Thanks for tuning in this morning. And Sandy Sinnett from the United Methodist Children's Home in Mount Vernon is with me this morning. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning.
And thanks for being here. We're talking about a little bit of history surrounding the United Methodist Children's Home and how much value and important it is to the Southern Illinois area. And Sandy, and we were talking off the air, and we'll talk about the golf tournament here in a moment, but we were talking off the air about there's a big need for foster parents, isn't there?
There really is, and it's not just any foster parents. These are foster parents to adolescent teens, so ages 12 to 21. Really within about a 60-mile radius of the children's home is what we're hoping to find, and we have some amazing foster parents right now. They have a support group. They meet every month. Just to kind of get a feel for life as a foster parent, and we support them and offer them tools and training, and they can just share with each other just like every other parent does with their kids, but it's a little bit different for them. So
sure.
And the need is great because these kids are obviously challenged, some more than others, but it takes a big heart and a home to, not necessarily a big home, but to welcome these kids in, and
sure,
there's a desperate need. So.
And this is there's a lot of couples out there that maybe can't have kids due to maybe a medical situation or something. This is a perfect time to become a foster parent. But what requirements are there at becoming a foster parent?
Right off the top of my head, I just know that the need is for at least one parent. If there's two parents in the home, the one parent would be a full-time foster parent, and we'd actually kind of supplement their income a little bit because they're going to be at home all the time with this foster teen. That's the level of care and commitment kind of required to be a foster parent. But outside of that, they'll go through a process of application and training through our foster parent program, and we have a great staff that kind of just figures out if they're right for the job and if they're ready for it. But I think it's overall more rewarding than anything for the parent.
Sure. And a lot of people wonder, well, how do I know what type of child I'm going to get? But that's all part of the training.
It really is.
And getting to know.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and they have a foster parent caseworker, again, that works alongside with the foster parents that just goes in and helps support that family and gives them all the tools they need and support, and it's a really great system that we have in place.
Is there a certain time limit where a foster parent is put into action, or is it just just an indefinite time until you feel like that it's okay for that child to go on?
We want that relationship to work out from the very beginning. If not, that caseworker's going to know if it's not a good situation between the parent or the foster parents and the teen. That's all monitored, and they make the decisions based on the care and how the relationship is going. The main thing is just to be open to a lot of love and commitment for that teenager and whatever they've had to deal with. And even for parents that are kind of empty nesters, that they've had teenagers in their home, they've kind of got a place for a teenager now that they're just maybe lonely or just need something to fill their life again. That's kind of a perfect couple for a foster parent.
Yeah, and there's some people, some friends that I know, couples that I know that have been looking into possibly becoming a foster parent because they feel like, it's a calling that God is placing them in at this point in their life. Their children are grown up and moved out of the home. So they're thinking, why not? Why not be obedient to God as we're supposed to be and get involved in this?
Right, and be a loving parent to someone who needs it desperately. So.
Yeah, and you could change the life. You're a mentor, then that person will look at you later on in life and say, because of you, you and your wife, husband, or whoever, you've changed my life. And that's what it's all about.
It is. And they can go on our website and find out more information, contact me or someone at the Children's Home in the foster care program.
Awesome. And you can go to umchome.org and check that out, as Sandy says, or the phone number is 244-1070. All right. United Methodist Children's Home in Mount Vernon with Sandy this morning. Sandy, you guys have a big fundraiser. I was looking at the website. while ago, and you have a big fundraiser coming up, and we've been mentioning it here on the air.
Yes.
A golf fundraiser. Tell us about it.
Our 21st annual golf classic. It's been held for many, many years, obviously, and we still have openings for golfers. $100 for a player, $400 for a team. It's just a fun day of fellowship. It's at Green Hills Country Club in Mt Vernon, and there's lunch provided. There's a 19th hole fellowship time after the tournament. Just a fun day, carts included, a lot of wonderful door prizes. We have 45 door prizes. I know
Really?
there's Cardinal tickets and so many other prizes that are going to be given away.
You know, people, when they hear Cardinal tickets, a lot of Cardinal fans in the
they're
area.
Good seats.
They're good seats,
Yeah, and we have a wonderful sponsor this year. People's Bank's our tournament sponsor, and they've just been wonderful, and tons of sponsors, but they're all great. We couldn't do it without them.
And well, you know, when you mention the 21st annual, that's 21 years going strong, and it's very popular. Golfers are $100 each, right? $400 per team, as mentioned, and they can register online too, right?
Yes, they can. They don't have to pay online. They can register and then pay at the door. So
yeah, registration opens at 10 a.m. that morning. How many golfers do you know offhand that you usually get?
Right now, I think we have about 22 teams of 4, so which is really, really good.
Yeah.
I just know, and a few of those foursomes still have a couple of spots left in them, so we have places that we can still put an individual golfer if you're just wanting to golf and support the children's home. All the money raised, of course, goes towards the general operating funds of the children's home and the care that we provide to our youth and the programs that we service.
How many fundraisers do you have like this a year, Sandy? Do you have to have these to operate, or is it federally funded? Or
we get some state funding, of course, and it's a little iffy right now, of course, and as many nonprofits know, and we get a little bit from the United Methodist Children's Home. But a lot of our fundraising is done by our wonderful, generous donors, constituents, and these fundraisers that we do. So.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah,
and we have about 4 a year. So between our 5K in October coming up, October 22nd.
Are you in charge of that?
Myself and Renee.
Because you're a runner. So,
yeah, I'm a runner too. So it's going to be a fun one this year. And then we have a new event, Festival of Trees, coming up towards the end of November, around Thanksgiving, that we do. It's a really fun event. It's a new one. So
wow, how awesome! All right, now a lot of people that may not play golf in the Mt Vernon area, and Green Hills Country Club's a beautiful facility. Where's it located at? Tell everyone where it's located at in Mt Vernon.
Green Hills. It's in Summersville.
In the Summersville. It's very easy to find off Mt Vernon Road.
It is. It's right off Fairfield Road. I'm
Fairfield
on
Road.
The right.
Yeah, in Mt Vernon, on Old Fairfield Road in Mt Vernon. You can't miss it.
Nope.
And it's right out there by Summersville School. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, no, that's okay.
but it's going to be an awesome time on that's the 21st annual on Friday, July the 8th. What time will they start in that morning? Now, I know registration opens at 10 a.m.
Right. The tournament begins at 11.
At 11.
Yep, right at 11. And then kind of lunch is on the go, so they just pick up their lunch and keep on golfing. And
just keep right on golfing. So you just it's will be like a drive-through.
And then we have a beverage cart that goes around for water and refreshments and keep them hydrated.
There you go. And hopefully, as we talked, hopefully the weather that we're having today on that Friday is going to be beautiful. Be that kind of weather. Be great golfing weather on that day.
They'd be very happy golfers.
All right, you bet. Well, Sandy, thanks for coming in this morning and sharing a little bit about what's going on at the United Methodist Children's Home, and then maybe when it gets closer to the run portion of your fundraiser, you could come back and
be wonderful.
We'll talk about that. All right.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Sandy. We appreciate you coming in. That's Sandy Sinnett from the United Methodist Children's Home in Mt Vernon with us this morning here on the Vine Morning Show.